It's a very summery type dish. You can have it as a salad alone. You can put it on bread. I've added 2 cheeses to mine because I'm a dairy freak and that's just how I roll, even though I'm lactose intolerant, but that's for another day. Or we can talk about it, whatever you like.
Yeah, I could watch Antoni Porowski talk about food all day, every day. People's editorial assistant, Carly Bright, caught up with the Queer Eye star for a one-on-one cooking class to learn how to make his tomato and strawberry bruschetta. Very fun. Head to people.com for all the details if you want to try it out at home.
And while they cooked, they chatted on a bunch of topics, including how Antoni has been doing amid the coronavirus lockdown and the cute new addition that he's isolating with. Take a look.
I was actually in Austin originally, in Texas, where we were meant to be filming our next season of Queer Eye. And then we started hearing rumors that like things were shutting down. They were considering closing airports. And I was still a little like, okay, I didn't think it was that serious at first. And then quickly, like within 2 to 3 days, like numbers started coming in and it was like, okay, this is like a real deal situation. We had barely finished filming our first episode. So we like have completed like 90% of it about. And then we found out the production was basically coming to a halt, like all productions were. So then I had to make a decision and I was like, okay, well, do I go back to New York? Do I come back to Austin? I was like, I don't know how long this is gonna last. I decided to stay put. And the day before everything shut down, I went to APA, which is Austin Pets Alive shelter, and started fostering my beloved Neon, who's part beagle, part pit. And so I stayed put there for a few months. But then recently, 2 weeks ago, I made it back to New York. Which has been really great to be here, and basically drove up here with my boyfriend. I heard that there were a lot of protests going on here for the Black Lives Matter movement. I wanted to be closer to the center of it, and it felt like it was safe to come back. So I took a road trip. I personally don't feel comfortable flying yet. I'm not there yet. I hope that I feel that way soon, but like not for now. And so drove back and have been here since, and have been cooking, taking care of a dog, going to protests,
repeat,
and that's basically it. And repeat, exactly. I know that there are a lot of things going on in the world, and these are like very troubling but also exciting and also eye-opening times. But I think the bright side of it is that my butt's been in the kitchen more than it has been in a really long time, and it's been nice to kind of just to cook for the pleasure of cooking. Whereas I think a lot of my life, especially in the past couple of years, it's either on Queer Eye. And as much as I love doing all that and writing the cookbook and doing all kinds of different projects, it's nice to just cook for the sake of cooking, of not having to put it on Instagram, just like the sheer actual joy of making a meal for someone. And also exploring my foster dog's palate. Not that you asked, but she loves a bone broth. She loves a home roasted chicken. She also likes peels of literally any fruit, but her digestive system does not, so we don't feed those to her anymore. And she loves a salmon skin. I love them too, so we kind of have to share those.
Yeah, it sounds like they're really making the best of it. Antoni definitely keeping busy these days, even teaming up with Verizon for their new Verizon Visa card.
He told us all about the perks, but not before he admitted why his dad got such a kick out of his partnership with them. Take a look.
I called my dad and we had a good laugh. When Verizon reached out and expressed interest in working together, I had to call my dad immediately. Everything is nostalgic and sentimental for me. And up until last year, I was on my dad's family plan for his Verizon deal. And until he had an awkward call where he called me and he was like, son, look, I'm really proud of you with Queer Eye and, you know, the cookbook and like all of your accomplishments and your accolades. I've been paying for your cell phone for 10 plus years, and I think it's time that you start taking care of the bill. It was an opportunity for growth, and it was an awkward conversation, but we made it through, and now I'm happy to say that I take care of my dad's Verizon bill. I've been doing a lot more groceries than I usually do, going to a lot less restaurants, but I am supporting small businesses and ordering takeout and delivery, which you get 3% for cash back, which is awesome. For things like gas and groceries, you get 4%, which is really great. You also get 2 and 1% for your Verizon products. If you're like me and you crack your screen on your phone more often than you care to admit, my record was 6 times in 3 weeks. But thank goodness I had AppleCare. It's nothing to brag about, even though I'm saying it in a braggadocious way. It's just embarrassing. I'm 36 years old. I should have my figured out by now, but I don't.
And finally, Carly asked Antoni's advice for everyone out there who wants to tackle new recipes while they're stuck at home, but might be a little intimidated since they're not quite experts in the kitchen yet.
And in true Queer Eye fashion, Antoni's advice is something that can apply in cooking and in life.
I think like with anything, and this is kind of a big picture message with a lot of what's going on in this country and the world right now, is that we're always intimidated or fearful of what we don't know. And I think it's just an opportunity to lean in and educate yourself. Whether there are so many cooking video tutorials on whether it's YouTube or Instagram or IGTV or on like literally any single platform. Just like learn about it. As soon as you learn about something, it's not that awkward. It's kind of like, not to get, but if like if you're talking about Black Lives Matter with like family members who are a little more conservative, yeah, it's going to be awkward at first. But once you lean into it and you have that conversation, you realize like, oh, it's actually not that awkward and it's important. And we all have to keep on learning, getting out of our comfort zones. Yeah. You know, it's like overall life advice, I think.
Some great advice there. For more on Antoni and his delicious bruschetta recipe, head over to people.com.